All right. Welcome back.
Welcome.
How we doing? What's going on?
So we have a new character unlock. Our guy, John Saramello, who's been with us since, 2015?
15?
Yeah, it's
14?
It's been like 10
years.
Almost 10 years, yeah.
I'm a decade old.
Jeez.
You're a decade in.
I'm 10 years young.
You know what?
This
You're
is
aging
how
down
I like
now.
to look at it.
Yeah. You look better every day.
Younger every day. So we're happy to have you here. We're excited to bring you into the fold.
Glad to be here. This is going to be a good conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we actually spend most of our time talking about this stuff anyway. The only difference is now there's a camera.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
So John, you've had many different roles with us over the years, but I guess introduce yourself. Tell kind of the listeners like what it is that you do day to day. You know, kind of the printing side of the business. So the menu printing is not something that we talk about a lot. I think people might be interested to learn more about how that works.
I engage with all of our customers. Everyone's asking me for quotes on takeout menus, dinner menus. They're telling me they need a menu at this location or that location. They want to be like they're asking me like, what's the cheapest way we can print all these menus and get it to all different locations. And then, I'm in the back printing the physical menus, cutting them down, making sure everything's perfect
Yeah.
before I send it out, and then shrink wrap it, ship it, and hopefully your customers will love what you put forth and what we put forth together as a team.
Yeah.
And then I handle like invoicing and things like that, like office stuff.
Yeah. Dealing with our print vendors as well.
Yeah, making sure that no one's getting ripped off.
Yes. Exactly.
Trying to get our customer the best price possible.
Yeah.
That's basically what I do. So anything we can't do in-house, I make sure that I'm sourcing many different vendors to get that price. So half my day is probably sourcing vendors.
Yeah.
And the other half is printing, like for the most part. And then everything else I just kind of fit in between.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
I think like over the years, we've every year become more and more just primarily menu printing, primarily restaurant printing. 10 years ago, we were a little bit more jack of all trades, but we're really almost all of what we do is for restaurants one way or the other.
Yeah, we've built up like a nice arsenal of customers over the years. Even before we just decided to be the restaurant company,
Yeah.
we had a nice restaurant like list of customers. Now we've just taken that and ran with it because one, I love working with restaurants.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
I think we all do. Yeah.
It's interesting, and getting behind the pricing and ingredients and now how to take that and make it look good and feel good and sound good and then what we do with engineering menus, like it's just like it's something like that I think about all day. And like when I go to a restaurant, I'm feeling paper. I'm like, oh, like,
we can't turn it off.
I'm like, I'm like, these guys should be our client. Like we could really help these guys out.
Yep.
No, it's a fun industry that we're in. This morning we had that meeting with some printing like vendor company. And the one girl was like really interested.
Oh, really?
I felt like she wanted to work for us. She's like, I get it. This is like,
Yep.
Yeah, because like I guess we think about menus differently than most people do.
Especially most printers. There's a lot of printers that they run larger orders, and they're working with giant corporations, and producing things at scale. But when we work with restaurants, normally, especially a single unit restaurant, we're only printing maybe 100 menus. So we're digital printing. We're smaller runs, which works perfectly for our restaurants because they don't really need more than that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good point. Another part of it that we really do well is we do a high volume of low quantity orders. So we have all of the logistical challenges of a large company, right? But we don't have the revenue because we're not doing giant print orders.
Right.
So we've had to really figure out how to cut the fat, be lean, and really standardize our process. Another thing we've really done, I think, over the last few years is get that dialed in with our project management software and like how we track shipments and how we track the status of jobs. You know, that when you're dealing with dozens and dozens of jobs every single day that are all in different statuses for multiple different locations and shipping and contact people, all those data points have to be correct and dialed in.
Yes.
So I think that's something that we've done well.
Definitely, like over the years, like streamlining the process has been like wonderful for us and wonderful for the customer, because even like, and technology has caught up with how we wanted things to go in the past. Where you know, used to write down a lot more stuff.
Oh man, were you there when we first when we used to use the envelopes, the paper
Oh my
tickets?
gosh, the tickets! Yeah.
So we had this cart. It was like a rolling cart, and we used cardboard to separate the new jobs were in the front, and then once they were in production or getting printed, we put them in the middle, and then when they were ready to bill, we put them in the back. And it was so like analog and really inefficient.
Yeah.
I think we forgot to bill like, I don't know, 25% of the work that we did.
Yeah. So now we have a project
better
management
process,
software that we built boards, and that whole process is on there. It goes step by step by step.
Yep.
And you're not looking through and like and forgetting about things that you know what I mean. Like it's all right in your face now.
Yep.
So doing that really like helped us to help our customer, because now we're getting things out quicker.
100%, yeah. And we're able to share them the progress, the status of their orders.
Well, yeah, now it's viewable, so they can view the status of everything in real time. So the board that we use to track all of the jobs is the board that they can look at and they can access.
Yeah.
And the reality is we needed to build this out of necessity. Like this was just battle tested from all of these different orders coming at us every day, all the time. We started with the basket, right? And then you just kind of iterate and optimize, and then technology comes along that now makes it possible.
Yeah.
And we're always evolving and always looking for the better way, the best way to do it. But it's been
it's systems like that help us continue our business and get new clients. Otherwise, I mean, we're a small team. It's the three of us. We would never be able to handle the amount of volume that we get on a daily basis if we were still carting those envelopes around.
Oh man,
yeah.
I pull out the information and be like missing stuff.
The purchase orders like that we would fax.
Oh my god!
Oh my
god!
Faxing.
Yeah.
Remember faxing?
Yep.
Oh man,
really dating ourselves.
Yeah. And then we had the email fax. That was after that.
Oh, that was one of our first upgrades.
That was a big step.
Big evolution in technology. Yeah. But I think like that's kind of a good place to start is, we're a print partner specifically to restaurants. And I don't know how many of those there are out there. And my goal with explaining this is not to promote ourselves, but just the idea of what a print partner can do for a restaurant and even more importantly, a restaurant group with multiple locations as the issue starts to become more logistical, right? If you have one location and you have a Minuteman Press across the street, that's your guy. Like there's nothing we can do about that. It's fine. You pay him in beer and tacos, but as you get to 5, 10, 15 locations, you start to really have more logistical problems and you get in your own way. And I think that's where this whole print partner concept versus print vendors is important for people to understand. You know, like if you have, I don't know, 10 locations and you have now hired a director of operations who's supposed to be running your entire, you know, operation, and that person is spending day in, day out following up on Vistaprint,
Right.
running across the street to Staples, and then, right, because they're
Or
looking
even if
for
that
the,
person's doing the shopping around and trying to figure out
right,
what to get done where, they need the posters for the A-frames, and then they need their menus printed and the table tents and the posters. I mean, you know, a lot of the time one printer isn't going to be able to facilitate all of that, you know, especially if their primary concern is the price of everything and then also getting it to each location logistically. I mean, that director of operations or director of marketing, that's what they're spending all day on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
their time isn't being spent the best in the
right. Are
best
they
way.
using their time wisely? Where they get, you know, they have a salary, and there's so many different things that they have to get accomplished, and now it gets pushed further back for
Right.
like because they have something coming up, they're gonna rolling out new menus, but in order to get there, they have to get all the promotional stuff all together and like figured out, so they can roll out the new menu with the promotional items and
Right.
and
Yeah.
and then it takes up all their time just to do like all the logistics of it.
Yep.
yeah. Yeah, and I remember the early years we had one client in particular where they used to just swoop in. They would order, and then have it delivered, and then just all swoop in, and they were like a storm. They would come in, and they don't even know what they ordered. They didn't know what was for what location. Like, so, because that, like, at some point, time's up.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Christmas is here, or Easter is here, and
You
you're
need to
either-
get these things out on the tables.
Exactly, yeah. So like in that scenario, that director of marketing was not only sourcing the print and, you know, going with the different vendors and trying to figure out everything, but they were literally coming to our office, picking everything up and dropping them off at each location. They became UPS
Yeah.
also,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
if you hire like a good director of marketing or a good director of operations, you're paying them, you know, maybe 6 figures a year. You don't want to think about the amount of company resources and time that you're paying this very expensive shipping provider is what winds up happening, right? Like so it's really the hidden cost of doing things cheap.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
so you might say, okay, that's $81 for that banner. That vendor is $86, but now you become the general contractor where you're dealing with all these different vendors. You don't know where anything is. There's no tracking. So you have to really look at it as you're growing from that point of view, through that lens, because it's just you're going to get in your own way.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, finding a print partner that you can trust, you know, and I'm not saying like spend time to try to find the right partner in print, but once you do, you're saving yourself all of this time, and time is money, right? So again, like you're paying someone, 6 figures a year to run the marketing, run the operations. You don't want them to be just on the phone with different vendors all day trying to find the best price and see who can shave off a little bit on the shipping and all that stuff. You know?
Not to mention, like if someone calls us with an issue where, oh man, I totally forgot, we also need this.
Yeah.
You know, we're like, okay, I understand. I know the situation. I know that you need these and you're supposed to pick these up by Friday and you should have placed this, but that's okay. We're going to do it for you. And then it's going to be here on Friday. Like there's an understanding of the situation. There's context. If you call 1-800, whatever it is, and try to explain the situation, they're going to say, sorry, that's just not how it works.
This wasn't part of your order. This is already in production. You can't.
Yeah, there's
Right.
a lead time.
It's like when you work with somebody like us, like, you know, I'm a cell phone call away. So, you know,
Right.
well, I'm very familiar with a lot of our customers. They can even text me sometimes, be like, John, I really need this. Like, can you do it like in this amount of time? And then, most of the time I can make it work. You know,
Yeah.
if I have the materials, and I'm not overloaded, like I can, I'll go out of my way.
Yeah.
I'll even stay late to get it done for them.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, so they can roll out whatever they need to roll out by the weekend.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, or I have 2 takeout menus left. Can you get me 50? Mm-hmm. I was like, I'll get you 50, and then what do you want on top of that?
Right, right.
And then I'll get it to you if I have to give you half, and then I give you the next half. Like I'll ship it,
Yep.
and you maybe need to pick up like 50 just to get you through the day or whatever
sure.
it is.
Yeah.
And that's what's so interesting about working with restaurants is, it's like that a lot.
Yeah.
It's always this kind of like rush. Oh, I forgot. I need this. I need that. We need more catering contracts. We need more that, it's like, yeah, I mean, that's their business.
Well, that's the thing. Everyone's eyes are all over the place because there's so many different things to keep your eyes on.
Right.
Like, you're looking at you have your food provider, you're looking at different food providers. You have workers.
Yep.
Like you're keeping track of their hours, like depending on how large of a operation you are.
Yep.
So
Yeah. You're not like, I know there's 18 takeout menus left.
right, exactly.
In the back of your head. You're going to reach for the stack and it's empty.
Yep,
Right.
yep.
That's-
And
that's how it works.
your
Exactly.
restaurant manager, maybe he's cooking pizzas too. So like he doesn't know how many are left either because he's taking orders, he's
Yeah.
helping out. Maybe someone called out sick.
Yeah.
Like so, just like even when you're not on top of your game, like with what we can handle for you, we can be here for you.
Right. Yeah. We have the flexibility to make it work for them.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is like just being able to do everything, having a print partner do everything at once. We can easily take 5 items and put them into one box and then ship them.
Save on much shipping. Yep.
If it comes in 5 different times and we have to ship it 5 different times, it's 5 different shipping costs. So again, it's the logistics and the hidden costs of doing things a certain way where
Right.
if you can streamline it, coordinate it, doesn't have to be with us, but somebody who understands, who can meet you halfway.
Yeah. The importance of planning ahead
yeah.
when it comes to anything that you're
Yeah.
rolling out, even if the design hasn't even started yet. And, a month from now, we want to roll out this promotion. We're going to need, 5 A-frames delivered to all 10 of our locations. And this, give the heads up to the printer so that they're ready for you. And they can also find the best price most of the time,
And, honestly, to consult you too.
Yeah.
Sometimes people come to us with the idea and then they're talking, and I'm thinking, and I'm sure you do this too, I'm thinking print specs wise, and I'm like, why are you doing it that way?
Yeah.
And I'm like, why don't you tell me what you're doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? We want to put laminated 24 by 36 things that are going to go in the kitchen. They have to be waterproof and okay. So now I know that what you're doing.
Yeah.
Here's some recommendations on substrates.
Sure.
As opposed to like placing an order online and then hoping that that's going to work
Yeah.
when you don't know. So
That's like, yeah, I love that too. Like if a customer comes to me and lays out their plan, like I can help them accordingly. Instead of them coming to me and be like, oh, what's the cost of one poster?
Right.
But like I'm going to give you the cost of one poster, but you have like multiple posters to order.
Yeah.
No, well, it could be a little cheaper.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
if
yeah.
I know that, I know
Yeah.
what one is, but you give me 4, you give me 10.
Yeah.
I could tell you, I have different vendors that I could gang up posters.
Yep.
And some I could ship to just one location. I can and all different artworks on one, and I have some vendors that are same artwork to different locations.
Yep. Yep.
There's all different things that I can do, like to help you
based
Right.
on the situation.
based on the
Yeah,
situation.
getting the full
Yeah.
picture is important.
Yeah,
The worst
and,
is-
and it's always a time issue too.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
You know what I mean? Like, and then certain things take more time to print.
Right.
You know, and the amount sometimes it'll add a couple of days, you know,
Yep.
things like that.
Oh yeah,
So-
folding or any sort
Yeah.
of finishing.
The worst
yeah.
thing is like someone places an order for a poster, and then the next day one poster, and the next day one poster, and you're like, "What are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
just give this to all of us. Give this to all of us.
Give this to
Give
us all
all
at
of
once.
this to us at once, and then we can go ahead and place the order at once." And I think the other thing too is an established printing company has a network of print vendors, and more importantly, a reputation with those print vendors.
Yeah, which
so
is yeah.
a way better connection and network and more good faith than you do
Yeah,
if you were to call that company
that's
directly.
a good point.
Right.
Right. So we have people we've been working with for
Over a decade.
decades at this
Yeah,
point, right?
Yeah.
We always pay our bill. You know, we do the right thing. They do the right. Like there's rapport.
Right.
So we can call in some of those favors
Yep.
and withdraw some of that credit on your behalf
Right.
because we have built that network.
Yeah, right. Especially with the timing issues.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Even sometimes with misprints. But yeah, I mean that's like it's kind of one of those things that you can't. It's like it's hard to gauge, you know. Like it's not so like black and white. It's nuanced, if you will. Andrew's favorite word.
Speaking of nuance, the other thing that I think is really part of this too is, and if you have a restaurant, you've dealt with this. You've paid the typo tax.
Oh, definitely.
You
You've
know,
all paid the typo tax.
we pay the typo tax every day. But I think I can think of countless times we've gotten a phone call or an email from a restaurant because there's an issue with the menu. But they haven't really looked at the design until it was delivered and put on their tables. As much as they've looked at it before and approved it and marked it up, they really didn't look at it until it got to the restaurant. And now you're like, I have to choose whether or not I'm going to live with this typo or reprint it.
Right.
Some typos you can live with, some you
Right.
can't.
Yeah. The salmon that's supposed to be $42, but it's listed at $24. I think probably
tough
not
one.
going to live.
Yeah.
Not going to live with that
Salmon spelled Solomon. Maybe you can
one. Maybe you
live
can.
with.
Yeah, you can get by.
Yeah. But I think like, you know, that really opens up another sort of logistical supply chain conversation with the designer, design team, or whoever's designing the menu, the printing, the shipping, and then the restaurant group. And one of the things that I wanted to go over today was really explain to people the process that we've created from years and years and years of doing this.
Yeah.
And it's evolved to this process. And there's just certain best practices, I think, that you have to have in place to give yourself a fighting chance. Because there will be typos. It's just a matter of when you catch them.
Yes.
If you catch them before in the proofing process, then you're fine. If you catch them after 1,500 waterproof menus have been delivered to 10 locations, that's a bigger problem.
Right. Exactly.
And it really starts with the design and what that process is all about.
Yes.
You know, I want you to to kind of go through our evolution.
Yeah.
You know, kind of what we did and you know what we still prevent people from doing now, but and the process we've created.
Yeah. I mean, we've been doing the design and printing for over 10 years now. And when we first started, along with the push cart of envelope jobs, was our not very great system of proof and approval, which was just basically emailing artwork to, sometimes it could be up to 6, 7 people on an email, 10 people. Everybody's kind of just adding to this conversation, this email thread. It becomes very difficult for the designer to keep track of the changes that are coming through. Sometimes the changes are contradictory. They're having their own internal discussion that they're not ready for that change to be made. And then when they are, the designer doesn't know. So now you're putting a hold on the new proof to be sent. It was a nightmare for a really long time. I actually have no idea how we operated. Because even the official approval could be very, one person can be like, yeah, this is great. And then, oh, okay, so you're ready to print this? Okay, well, we'll send it off. And then someone else will email like a day later with changes. And it's like, oh, I thought that this was approved. Like, oh, no, they were just complimenting the artwork. Okay, well, that's.
Yeah. This is printing.
Yeah.
Right now. So there's no more changes.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Because they also need it by Friday.
Right, yeah.
But the other way, the other person's
Exactly.
sending changes.
So now you like as the designer and the one I think benefit of us is that our design team has to be familiar with print. So print specs, how to set it up for print. So at least you're not dealing with any of the issues that you get on press with the specifications being off. It's really just the design that could be off. But I think in 2021, maybe 22, something like that, we opted to use a proofing software that we now still implement, and it has been the biggest game changer, I think, since the start.
I mean, I a big part of it is the the handwriting on a menu
Yes.
for menu.
We do still get
edits.
that, but at least after that initial round of changes, it's in our proof
Then
software.
it's digital,
so,
and everyone could read it, and
Yes.
and it's the way you use the proofing
Exactly.
software. It's like right where you want it to be. It's not like
Yep.
it's circled. And,
It's so much
and
more
arrows
streamlined.
and-
Yeah.
It allows
a
us
line
to-
down the whole thing.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Everything raise $1. Like, okay.
But not that.
Yeah,
Everything but that.
Oh,
You didn't see my
everything
note?
but the salmon. Right.
No, I mean with our proof software now, I mean we still have the ability to add 6-7 people onto a proof, but it's a lot more streamlined. There's only one approver, which means only there's the person that's kind of in charge of saying yes, this is good to go. I've reviewed it with the manager. I've reviewed it with the chef. Everybody can kind of submit their comments. And then that one point of contact either sends changes to our team or sends official approval by clicking an approve button. Can't really get much clearer than that. So there's no nuance in the email chain anymore.
Yeah, so the architecture of it is there's one approver.
Yes.
And that's number one. And there's one simple way to approve, which literally goes from we're in progress to approved.
Yep.
So it's black and white in terms of whether or not it's approved, and only one person can do it.
Yes.
Because all of that banter and all of that contradictions and all of those conversations are still happening and are still always going to happen. Problem is the mistake that restaurants make is they bring the creative team in too early
Yeah.
into that process, and they don't have any kind of proofing process, and it's still all a mess and it's contradictory. So the architecture is, hash it out, assign someone, have that person be really the head of the dragon
Yeah.
that communicates with the designer, and make sure you have a very cut and dry, this is now approved.
Right.
And if that's not approved, it's not going to print. And
Right.
if it is, it's going to print.
Right.
Black
Yeah.
and white.
I mean, the way that our proofing system works, it directly integrates with our project management software, which means that as soon as you hit that approve button, if we're going to be printing your order, it goes right into production. So it saves a lot of time. It saves a lot of, avoids any confusion with, trying to determine what comments need to be made and what not. Nope. It's we send you the proof. If everything looks good, you click that approve button and it's good to go.
And then that's when I'll come in.
Yep.
And then I'll reach out and be like, how many do you want? Where do you want it? Mm-hmm. And
Yep.
then I go through my process.
Yep, they approve the quote, and then it's
So
off to the races.
just
Yeah.
a very streamlined because
Yes.
it's the next step.
Yes.
And then from there, then I ship it out, and then I'm tracking it
Yep.
the whole way until it gets there, and then it's also telling you
Right.
that it's in what part of the shipping process it is at the end of it too.
Right. Right. Yeah. The
So,
customer
like,
gets notified.
I'm always looking, but it's also automated.
Yep.
So
Yeah. Although the only thing I do miss about the terrible way that we used to do it is the local pizza place, like he'd bring in a pie.
Oh yeah.
He'd bring in a pie. He'd stand over your shoulder and like literally point and be like, change that, change that, change that, which is not fun for anybody. But if you're going to do that, at least bring a pie.
At least bring food.
So
yeah.
we get less free lunches now with this new process. That's the only.
We'll just have
that's
to
the only
start.
drawback.
We'll have to start delivering the menus, and
Yeah,
then maybe
yeah.
get something on the back end. You know.
Yeah. Oh, want a pie to go? Yeah, sure.
So I got an anecdote,
Okay.
and you're gonna know this one.
Okay.
This is probably 2000. I want to say 13, and we were doing things the old way. A lot of people used to come to the office, or we would go to the restaurant, right? And we had this old school Italian restaurant owner, very successful, awesome guy, but old school,
Yeah.
right? And he would do it the way he always did it, and then we were trying to like implement some new
'Cause
technology.
I think I was remote. It may have been a little later.
Yeah,
So, it was when I went.
Yeah, so you used to come to the office with
Yeah.
the pizza, hover over your shoulder,
Yes.
and fine. Then you moved and you were working remote, so we had to figure out how to like bring this guy up
How to make him
technologically.
happy. Yeah, keep him happy. I mean,
But he's like, I don't do computers. You know? So I figured out a way, and this is in 2013. We used Join.me, which is like Zoom,
Yeah.
and I had a TV in the office. He walked in. I had you on a phone call, separate, so we can converse. But then your screen
sharing.
was on the TV, the screen, and so his menu, which is on your computer, was showing up on the TV screen.
Yeah.
And he'd go, "Hey, Jenny, is that you?" And you'd be like, "Yeah, but can you change the thing to $18?" And it would happen. It happened in real time.
I was designing it as he was giving me the changes. The worst way to ever
Oh, it was the best.
to
It was the
ever
best.
operate.
He was like, "This is what I'm talking about." He would point to it, and he'd be like, "Change that," and then 2 seconds later, boom, it's now $19, and he's like, "This is," and I got really excited.
Revolutionary.
I got excited because I'm like, "No, we're gonna have a kiosk at the office. We're gonna people can make appointments, and we're gonna have a kiosk." And you were like, "Never again." So
It took all of us because it wasn't just me. Now you're involved.
right,
I think I don't know who was working in the office at the time, but so it's like 2 or 3 of us now for at least an hour.
yeah.
Like making these
Yeah.
painful. Like, these changes could have taken maybe 10 minutes to
Yeah.
do if I had gotten them all at once.
Right. Well, then the other way was, oh, Jane's not here. Okay, let me meet with Andrew.
Right.
And then give him the updates. And then we play the telephone game where now I go back to the guy, and or I go back to you rather, and that's not right. That's not what I said, and now I'm stuck in the middle. So I guess the point is that we've gone through many evolutions to get to where we are today. So if you're a restaurant and you're listening to this, take what we've learned and implement it.
Right.
Because it's based on decades. Can I say decades yet? Decade and a half?
Yeah.
Decade and a half.
Decade and a half.
Like it.
It's based on 15 years of doing this and evolving it, and and that's one of the benefits of staying in one niche is that we cracked the code. So take it from us.
Yeah.
One approver, have an approval process, a standardized process. Separate the designer from the banter and the craziness, and that's going to eliminate your typo tax for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Or at least reduce the chances of it happening. Because sometimes you just, no matter how many people review the proof, you're just missing that, that one word, sauteed spelled wrong or whatever it is. But definitely reduces the chances of it happening.
Yeah. Time is money. And typos are you get, and then the typo tax on top of the wasted time.
Right.
I mean, I think we're kind of lucky now. I mean, not to say that we didn't love what we were doing when we first started, but we're kind of working almost in like a new generation of people that are in the industry. So, we're not really getting the old school guys as much anymore. I mean, they're still there, but they're willing to work with us in our new way. We've evolved with technology.
Yeah, we're not so like advanced that it's crazy.
Yeah.
But I think 10 years ago, we were working with guys that have been running restaurants for 30, 40 years.
Right.
And now
Now
that
we're
turnover,
working with their kids.
Now we're working with their kids.
Well,
yeah.
The craziest thing is like nothing like like COVID was not a good thing, but people getting on a video call,
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, wow, I know technology now for these like old timers,
Mm-hmm.
and then they were like, I can do this. I you know, then because then we had to implement. We couldn't be near each other. We had to implement more technology to keep everything moving.
Yeah.
You couldn't stand over someone's shoulder and
Definitely.
cough.
Right.
You know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they realized how
a good
easy it
point.
was to just hop on a Zoom rather than even, we would go to restaurants and meet in person a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And we still do here and there now, but I mean, at that time it was just like the standard. But I mean, even for the restaurant, for us to go there, I mean, that's a lot more time than just hopping on a laptop for 10, 15 minutes, get your point across, and then that's it. Now that's done, you know?
Yeah.
Right. You can only hit so many places in a day.
Exactly, yeah.
But from what you could do from your laptop in one spot, you can hit tons of customers.
Right.
Like for us on our end, and then time, like our time is better served, so we can help our customer achieve their goal quicker.
Yeah.
So they can roll out their menu and their promotions at the same time.
Right.
Yeah, I think like a big part of being successful and growing and scaling is standard operating procedures and like a process and a way of doing things. So you have that in your restaurant theoretically of how you craft your dishes and what the job descriptions are and everybody's responsibilities. Why not have an SOP built around menu updates? If you look at it that way, here's the SOP. It can evolve, but at the end of the day, that is going to exponentially decrease the amount of issues you have in the process.
For sure. And we have the framework. So it's not even that they have to develop their own SOP for it. If they, I mean, again, not to promote ourselves, but, as people that really primarily just work with menus and it being such a fundamental piece of the restaurant operations, to have those operating procedures in place and not even have to develop them yourself.
Yeah.
Just plug into us, and now we'll give it to you. You're getting it with us.
Yeah.
I like to say it's better to have an SOP than be an SOB.
I think we got to change our shirts. Instead of menus designed with profit in mind, we're changing our tagline. But I was just thinking too that one example recently of a customer they just took over a bunch of locations and they have to now redo all the menus because they got it from the other company and they have like how many assets? Dozens
Yeah.
and dozens of assets. And this is now April and these are all waterfront concepts. So all of this stuff has to roll out now in the next couple of weeks,
Right.
3 weeks. So we were actually able to integrate our proofing software with their project management system.
Right.
So it was really cool first time we ever did this because then it was really them working out of their system integrated with ours.
Yeah.
It didn't mess up our process. And now we've just been knocking things off the list.
Yeah. Because I think sometimes the issue is like if they do already have an SOP in place for keeping track of marketing assets and digital assets and things like that, and they now want to work with us or they want to work with a new company, it's like, okay, well, this is our process. Now we have to learn your process, which is completely different, and we have all these people that have a say that need to review the proofs. How do they access it? How do they find it? Our ability to just kind of plug the proofing process into their existing project management. And now, as you said before, they have their internal huddle and talking about the items that they need and the updates that are needed and stuff like that before they even like get the changes over to us.
Yeah.
To us, it's like, okay, well, we're still working on our process. We're up making the updates that you're sending to us. Like it's streamlining us with them without anybody really having to change anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that's nerve wracking for the marketing director,
Right.
the owner. Like, oh, this is going to be a heavy lift here. Like, I don't know, and then boom, synced. Everything's synced, and now and you're comfortable with working with your project management software, and we have ours, and boom.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and that marketing director, he was really stressing because it's on him.
Yeah.
And so he reached out to us, and I think he did not expect it to be so simple. And look, we didn't build anything proprietary. This technology is kind of out there now. This type of stuff, everything's integrated. But he's now seeing that he is getting these things done and approved, and then take it a step further. Once they're approved, John is going in and he is looking at the assets that are approved, and then reaching out to the marketing director and saying, "Hey, do you want us to place an order and print these for you?" And then we do all the shipping and the logistics. So like this is going to happen, and he's going to be able to take credit for it, which is great. But that never could have happened with a bunch of freelance designers and some print vendors and online. Like there's no way.
It would have been a nightmare trying to keep track of all that.
There's no way. Yeah. It would have been really expensive. Things would have not gotten there on time.
And not to mention like the inconsistencies. I mean, from a branding perspective of having, a bunch of different people working on these different things just to get it out, and maybe the marketing director or someone else is just hopping into Canva just to get something done real quick because now time's up. You can't really,
Yeah, the amount of stress on everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
We're losing money if we don't get this out.
Yeah.
Right.
That's and then and that's the restaurant owner, and then it just trickles down from there. Like to have it all like a tight ship.
Yeah.
I mean, it's better for everybody because it's this is fun now. It's kind of fun. Like what are we doing here?
Yeah, people think that like they think of marketing as fun. Like now it can be a little bit again. It's not so stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's stressful when you don't have these things figured out.
Exactly. Anytime you add stress into anything, oh man, it just causes more aggravation for everybody and arguments and all different, firings. Who knows?
Pressure's on.
Let's keep everyone working and happy.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, I think like that's kind of the last thing I wanted to go over is how do you prevent this from happening? This last minute rush jobs, typos, things not getting there, on time. So if we think about like promotions within the four walls, what is the best practice for rolling out promotions consistently in a standardized way?
Yeah.
Because we get this all the time, people want to promote something for this weekend because it's Easter and they totally forgot, or, they're just not thinking about the fact that it's Cinco de Mayo, if you wait to the last minute, you're going to have mistakes. You're not going to be able to roll it out, and you're not going to be able to even get it in front of people long enough for there to be an ROI in the first place. So I think like this sort of connects everything that we're talking about, but incorporates one other component, which is planning.
Planning.
Yes.
Right? Planning ahead. So like if, in a perfect world, I think if you know what your holidays are, because you can't promote everything. I always use Valentine's Day and Super Bowl as an example. Like you're either promoting Valentine's Day or Super Bowl. You're not having, a date night and then the Super Bowl the next day. Like,
right.
So
most places aren't like that.
Exactly. Yeah. so knowing who you are and what your events are, so then you can plan ahead, map out your entire calendar, and then not wait until the last minute. I think is number one. And then I think like especially when you have multiple locations, standardizing the marketing asset kit for that location, and then getting ahead of it, right? Because then you can get it out on the tables, inside the four walls, on the A-frames, on the posters, the check presenters, the table tents. You can get them out longer and have more of a chance of the promotion being successful.
Right.
And it's cohesive across multiple locations too.
Right.
Right.
I think that, people don't take advantage of the in-store promotions the way that they should. I mean, obviously, like, digital is important. They get graphics made to share on social media. But if you're promoting something in store, like, you're getting the best demographic or target audience really to see these promotions, and they're more likely to come back because they're already guests at your restaurant. They're already your customers.
Yeah.
So they're going to be more willing to to come back for that promotion. Then
And tell
someone just-
others, like,
and tell other
we
people.
love this place.
Right,
You know,
Yeah.
you know, they're always having great deals, or
Yeah.
their food is so good, or like,
Yeah.
you know, whatever all together, you know,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Plus, people need to see stuff more than once to remember it. You know, to kind of recall it. So they
yeah,
see
you
it.
definitely want your in-store like promotion like kit, if you
Yeah.
will.
Yeah.
You know, you want your posters, you want your table tents, you know.
Yep.
I think people know this. They don't. They're not unaware of this.
Yeah.
But for some reason, they can't get it done.
Right. Right.
So-
logistically, it's challenging.
Yeah, because like I don't think maybe you don't think about all the steps involved to get that final piece onto that table.
Right.
If you reverse engineer it, first of all, it's got to be delivered, right? Which means it has to be printed and then shipped. It has to be designed and approved. And then most importantly, where I think people get screwed up is like, what is the promotion? What is it? Like, who are we? What kind of, discount should we do? Or, like, how are we going to monetize this holiday? I think people get stuck in that, and then
Yeah.
you wind up just not doing it.
Right. Right.
So I'd say pick a handful of holidays throughout the year that you really want to invest in, and then put your resources behind it.
Yeah.
And don't jump from promotion to promotion. People try something once, it doesn't work, and they just abandon it and move to the next thing. Now you got to start all over again with the same concept and the same process. If it didn't work, figure out what that means and why. But at least now you have all the assets
Yeah.
designed, right?
Yeah.
You have a little bit of traction in that people saw it once, right? So now you have some equity in the concept, and then stick with it and go back again, right?
Yeah.
And there's no reason why your loyalty, your Mother's Day, join our loyalty list promotion can't be your 4th of July, join our loyalty list promotion.
yeah.
Can't be our Halloween, join our loyalty list promotion. So like standardize it throughout the year and brand it for different
and
reasons.
Also kind of figure out who you are, like even before you get there too. Like you Valentine's Day and Super Bowl, right? They're so close together. One's like a dine-in day, and one is like a dine-in and catering.
Yeah.
Like if you have a big catering part,
Right,
you're not
right.
going to really cater Valentine's
no.
Day.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's usually not a
it's more of an intimate thing, like
Yep.
where you're going
like Mother's
out.
Day, Father's
Yeah.
Day, kind of more.
Yeah, right. Mother's Day,
Special.
Father's Day, it's more dine-in.
Right. Right.
Then there's you're just knowing what kind of promotion you're going to run, and you could do that, and you just think of each holiday. Would I go dine in for that holiday, or would I cater a holiday?
Yeah.
Or would I do both? And there's some overlap there too.
Yeah.
Like Thanksgiving dinner or like Thanksgiving to go. There's both there, right? Some people do
Yeah.
like the Thanksgiving dinners and Easter dinners.
Yeah, I think it's more about connecting the dots throughout the entire year. So, like, if you have an A-frame, it's a 24 by 36. If you put something in the bathroom, it's an 11 by 17. If you have a check presenter, it's a 4 by 9. If you have a table tent, it's a 4 by 6, 4 and a quarter by 11. Take stock of all those sizes and all those, think of them as ad placements, and then design against them. And then now you have your library,
Yeah.
your kit
Well, you just
for
need a
that
list,
location.
really. Yeah, like a list of everything that you need, the sizes that you need. You hand it off to whoever is going to be designing the artwork in advance, so that you're not scrambling to get those sizes after the fact, after the art's already been approved. Oh,
Yeah.
I also need this size, this size, this size, and now you're pushing the date back of when that can get printed. It's holding the promotion up. If you're letting your designer know in advance, okay, we're going to run this promotion. We need this list of sizes. That's good. Next, go to your printer. Okay, once this gets approved, we're going to need X amount of table tents delivered here. We're going to need that. So you have all of your information ready to go and deploy even before the design's even started, right? So now you're way ahead of it, and now you're just taking that information and plugging it in every single time you're running a new promotion.
Yeah, I mean it's honestly like so easy when you put it like that.
Yeah,
You
you would think, yeah. No,
well,
I mean, I run into
it sounds
Yeah.
simple, and it should be a simple thing.
yeah, and I think
there's
that
a lot
once you do it once, it's kind of like, oh yeah, okay, like obviously like this is what I need, right? So it's like it just becomes easier the more frequently you're doing it, and the
Yeah.
more, and if you're using the same people or you're the same process, then it's just a matter of rinse and repeat.
Yeah, and if you do the same things every year or something like,
Oh, yeah.
you become known for that.
Exactly. Yeah, you have to continually, and going just for promotion, not logistics. You have to run promotions, I think, consistently for people to get used to them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and money loves speed. So the faster you can roll things out, and the more frequent you can roll things out, the more money you're going to make.
Right.
And if you can roll promotions out at scale, you can roll out more promotions. And then to your point, you become known for the place that has a lot of cool stuff going on. But you can't put the cart before the horse. So you got to take stock of like, really, what are my assets? Every time you design something, you've got to like look at that as like, this is the template.
You've already
right?
invested in it.
I've invested in this. Next year, it's going to go from 2025 to 2026.
Yep.
And I'm going to change the date and maybe the time, but then ship it because now we got to get that thing out on tables.
Good to go. Yeah.
It doesn't, people are not going to remember that the photo of that Easter bunny is the same one as the one from last year.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Like, you're getting stuck in your own head.
You're only seeing it for 2 weeks out of the year. They're not going to remember, and if they do, then that's good because now you're doing the recall, the brand recall, right?
Yep.
So
That's what you want. People are like,
Yeah.
oh, they're using the same bunny again. And now you know people are they're seeing it, right?
Yeah.
And then the other part of that too is like, in a perfect world, let's say you have a dozen locations and this holiday is coming up, and in a perfect world, you have planned ahead, have everything designed and approved. B, you have a print partner, so a way of getting things printed and delivered. Now you can start looking at bulk printing and optimizing the logistics to save money.
Yep.
Right? So you can get it done sooner, which means it's going to roll out earlier, which means you're going to have a better chance of success
Yeah.
for that promotion. And then you can worry less about where everything is and focus more on, hey, if we make these all the same material and order them all at the same time, we can actually get a bulk discount, or if we have 7 different things for one location, we can order them at the same time, put them in the same box and pay once for shipping and save $80 times 12 locations on just shipping alone. Now you're really starting to do things right and understand the process.
Yeah. And you can just continually like go deeper. You have all that figured out. You're saving time, you're saving money. Maybe you can invest in, getting someone to come in and shoot some video footage. And now you have you have stuff to promote the event for next year.
You're helping your wait staff out because now they're not like looking at materials last minute.
Yes. Yeah.
They got time to like understand what the menu is because they're only going to do the best they can for you with what they're given.
Right.
So like when we create menus, we make it really easy, but you still have to learn it too.
Right. Yeah. Imagine if you were changing your menu every week, like how difficult that would be for your staff.
Yeah.
New items, new prices.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a whole new layout to a menu.
Yeah.
And now it's like, whoa, everything's all over the place. Like now, let me get used to this. When you look at something for the first time, it's always it's always like a little stressful.
Yeah.
And then you learn it, and then you get
I mean, you
the more
want your
time,
wait
the better.
staff to adopt this stuff, and you want it to sink in the same way you want it to for your customers as well. So it's important.
It all ties in.
Yeah.
It all ties in.
It
Yeah.
all ties in. Like we're just like we're just flowing with each other. You know what I mean? And then like, how can we make that interaction the easiest way possible?
Totally. Yeah. In our specific little cutout niche of how we can help them,
Yeah.
We're not running the restaurant for you, but we can help you solve this logistical issue.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And a lot of restaurants are quick to blame the concept because they haven't planned ahead and marketed it well enough or long enough, and then so they change it. Right. So now you got to start all the way back at the beginning again because you're changing the concept. And then the other thing to do is they discount. They think, well, 30% off. No, that didn't work. 40%. No, 80% off. so many times I've talked to restaurant owners who are like, this is the craziest deal. I'm losing money on this, and I still can't get people to come here. This $8 lunch, right? So now people are looking at that and saying like, what is this
Yeah.
$8 lunch? And then you're not even promoting it like well enough. You've moved on. Now it's a different gimmick.
Yeah.
Right. So stick with the promotions. Repetition is key.
Yeah.
And then you can optimize the process,
Yeah.
and it becomes more of an economy of scale, and you systematize it.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I mean, and like, there's a super high rate of restaurants that like go out of business for not figuring out the logistics behind things.
Yep.
So I don't want to be responsible for not coming through for you. So
Right.
I am going to be fine tuned for what we do. So it helps you succeed.
Yeah.
That I want to help the restaurant owner succeed because one, I like to have fun. I like to go out. I want you to make money, and also you're my customer.
Yeah,
So let's do this together.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, we love dining out. You know, that's why it's fun to work. in
Yeah,
this,
I'm going out
industry.
tonight.
Let's go.
You know what I mean?
But yeah, if you put all these issues together and multiply it by multiple locations, the typo tax on the waterproof menus, the group shipping, the last minute promotions, you can really start to put together, I think, thousands of dollars of savings by optimizing and standardizing this process.
Yes.
And it's found profit that already exists inside of your business, meaning that you don't have to make a personnel change. You don't have to invest in any machinery or anything like that. You just have to change your outlook and change the way you're doing things, and you can reveal profit in a business that has razor thin margins. This is margins that are sitting inside your business right now.
Right. Right.
Good point.
What was the worst day on the job? So talking about printing, production, the biggest, most trouble you ever had, worst day you ever had in terms of things going wrong, worst day in the warehouse. That's what we'll call it.
Worst day in the warehouse.
Worst day in the
Love it.
warehouse.
Oh man. I mean, there's a bunch sometimes.
What
You know?
about those the books that were printed? Was like how many books? It was like 80 books, 40 pages each.
Oh.
That
They were supposed to be
printed the
collated.
wrong way. They were supposed to be collated,
Oh
but they
my
were.
gosh.
I think the three of us spent all day just arranging the sheets of paper
Oh,
in the
everyone was
right
in
order.
charge of a certain group of numbers
Yeah.
of pages.
Yeah.
And we all
Oh,
organized
man.
it,
They
and
were-
then we would stack it.
It
and
was just
stack it.
giant stacks.
It was a huge book
It
because
was-
normally it's
yeah.
not printed collated, but because it was a huge book, it had to get bound differently.
Yeah.
And so we had printed all the sheets separate.
There were thousands.
Yeah.
Thousands.
What was it
Thousands
like?
sheets.
It was like a company manual of like some sort of
No,
maybe.
this is a legacy.
Oh my gosh, that
That one.
one.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking
No, you were
of-
thinking of the
of Shank Treble.
yeah, the Shank Treble.
Shout out to my dad.
You got into
Dad.
that Shank Treble account. That was a tough one.
I wasn't
because
even there for that one.
I think it was me, you, Rob, Steph.
Yeah.
And we had this circle of books stacked up, and I don't know if there was a page missing or we had to
take apart the book.
we had printed the full book minus certain inserts or something.
Yeah.
So we had to like we had we had to go around a circle and like pull and take it and then stack it and stack it and stack it and stack
Yeah.
it and make a book.
Yeah, we were in an assembly line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'd pull it, and then it took us hours, and at the end we were like, all right, nice. And I think maybe half of them were wrong.
Really?
Yeah. It was tough.
And they called, and then we went and picked them up, and we fixed them all. But like, you know,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That sounds worse than the
Yeah.
legacy one.
Well,
That one
the
just-
legacy, that I remember that day. That was tough too. Like anytime you have a lot of
just the same thing.
like quantity,
Yeah.
and you have to do like
It took all of us all day.
it took
I
8
think, right?
hours.
Yeah,
it took 8 hours.
Remember when you first started working? You first started working with us, and you weren't even like an employee yet.
Oh my gosh.
You just came in for this weird project.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, can you just come in and do this? And it was this guy who he hand wrote, he was doing a mailing, and he wanted
He wanted it to be
envelopes
handwritten.
to be
envelopes.
handwritten. So John hand wrote, like, it was like 1,500 of them, hand wrote the envelope and then folded the letterhead. I think you signed his name too.
Yeah.
You signed.
I signed his name, stuffed the envelope, licked
Yeah.
it. Like 1,500 of those.
Jeez.
It took me. It
It's
took
a
me.
full work week.
It took me at least four plus days.
Yeah. And then you just walk by John and he would just be like, I was like,
It must
yo,
have been more than 1,500. I don't know. It was
Were
a
you
lot.
writing like specific the address, like
Yeah.
the different addresses?
I
for
wrote
each
every
person? Oh,
address.
man.
Yeah. Every address. Every
Reminds me of
person's
that
name.
episode of Severance where she was severed and she was in the room and her whole only job was to write out the Christmas cards.
yeah. Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm definitely like so happy we do restaurant menus because we don't have to deal with that.
No more mailings.
I remember being
more
like,
mailings.
I asked you, I was like, yo, can you like get sick from licking this many
Oh my
envelopes?
gosh.
And you just like,
Definitely.
I was like,
You definitely can.
I was like, I hope that it's like not poisonous glue, you know, like George Costanza, and he got the cheap envelopes, and his wife died.
Oh, yeah,
or
yeah.
his fiance died because she licked all the envelopes.
Oh my God.
no,
yeah,
but
I mean,
it worked out.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
But I think
And
that,
that's where I started. And,
and you
know,
stuck around. I mean,
Oh my gosh.
I mean, for us, like we realized that in order to do something really well, like we weren't set up for that.
No.
That wasn't our thing.
No.
In order to do something really well, we needed to specialize.
yeah.
And that's sort of what we've done. And
Oh, Andrew, John's he's perfected his handwriting.
Oh man, that was
He
the
can
worst.
forge anyone's signature.
That was the worst. And right, my wrist was the worst. Licking the envelopes, it was kind of fun. It was like, it wasn't that bad.
that was the fun part.
The writing was like my wrist.
Yeah.
I had like carpal tunnel.
Yeah,
like,
he
it
developed
was-
carpal tunnel in 5 days.
Yeah, I couldn't even get workman's comp at that point.
Off the books.
Off the books.
But
Yeah,
all right.
good.
So until next time,
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for being here. You're
love
gonna have
you.
to come back on.
love you too. Thanks for licking all those envelopes.
Yeah.
Of course.